Hey nerds, Atsu here. Um, I'm starting to think that perhaps it is my fault. Um, Especially after this latest influx of books that I have procured. I've got a couple of different stacks here. I actually bought some off eBay. I went down to see my folks, and it just so happened to be passing by where an eBay purchase would occur. Basically, I picked them up on my way to my parents' house, and I only would have picked, they were a pickup only, so I would have only picked these up if I was going to my parents. I was going to my parents, so I bought it and picked them up. And then the rest were from 3, maybe 4 op shops that I visited on purpose on my way to see my folks. So this is my fault. This lot is my fault. So I'll show you the op shop ones first, because the ones I bought off eBay. Oh man, I hope you can hear me. Let me just bring the mic closer. I'm not filming it again. It's only a minute. All right, that's probably better. Yeah, so the first stack I bought from the op shops, ranging from 50 cents to $3 a book. I don't know which was which. Usually it goes by size, but some of these, like this one that I'm holding, was only $1 because some were on clearance. And it's not even all I purchased. I have some fantasy books from my Terry Goodkind collection up there that I'm not going to show because they're up there. But I've got a copy of Bloom by Will McCarthy. I already have this. I just picked it up because it was $1, so I'll put this in my booth. There are some that I'm going to put in my booth, some that I will keep. I think I had everything that I was going to put in my booth. I already put away, but obviously forgot about this one. But yeah, I don't know what this is about, but I already have a copy, so this is to move on. This one was a great find. I've been seeing just a little bit of on Book Talk about the Borrables, and I just happened to find the entire trilogy in one volume. So I heard it somewhere, and then it's been showing up everywhere. So this is by Michael D. Larabietti. Apologies if that's not correct, but I don't know what this is. But they're as wise as mountains, tough as old boots, and crafty as curates. Hundreds of years old, some of them. Borrables are outcasts and runaways. They are skinny, scruffy, quick-witted, and their ears become pointed as soon as they take to the streets, a sign of their independence and intelligence. Set in London. This sounds really cool. I don't really know what it is, but it's got some sort of like little elf, goblin-y type creatures. I'm down. I'm down because it's in a... it's all in one volume, so... That's great. It's just, I was intrigued by it because they've been showing up. The Borrable books have been showing up on my phone for some reason. YouTube is listening. YouTube is listening? Google is listening. Excuse me. I got these 2 David Eddings books because I'm pretty sure they were only $2. And these are... What are they? Omnibuses. That's the word I was looking for. This is Malorian, or Malorian, or however you want to say it. I'm going to say the Malorian. This has got Guardians of the West, King of the Murgos, and Demon Lord of Karanda. I don't have any of these. It's really floppy. Like, I don't know if this is like something you'd send to someone as a to proofread it or something, or it doesn't say, not that I could figure out. But this is the first 3 books of the Malorian. So that's pretty good. I don't have any David Eddings except for one standalone book, Redemption of Alphacius or some shit. But yeah, I haven't read any Eddings. The Eddings and what's his name? Raymond E. Feist, which you'll see in a minute. I never read any of those because I read Good Kind instead, and I read everything Good Kind, or just about everything Good Kind, and multiple times. So Good Kind was my big fantasy epic author that I read. But I do want to read some Edding. So this is volume 1, and the Malorian seems to be set after the Bell. Whether it's in the same universe, I have no idea. But anyway, the Belregard, or the Belgorod, Belgariad, whatever the fuck. This is volume 2 of the Belgrade. Oh, I have so much reflection coming off. I should maybe shut that. Fuck it. So this one has Castle of Wizardry and Enchanter's Endgame. So there is Pawn of Prophecy, Queen of Sorcery, and Magician's Gambit in volume 1. So maybe I should find that. But yeah. I don't know. I like the idea that they're all together in these trade papers. So yeah. But as I mentioned, I got some Raymond E. Feist. These were $3 each, and I've never read a Feist. As I said before, I read Good Kind over Feist. So I got the first 3 in the Magician series. So I got the Magician, and this is the original masterwork of magic and adventure. Now, I believe that originally Feist wrote the Magician and had to change it to be published. And he had to change his original intention and his original story, and it's like the preferred edition or something that he goes on about. Yeah, so I don't know the full story behind it, but I think this is like the author's true version, or what his true vision of the book. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I understand it. I read the forward and the revised forward, or whatever the fuck was in this book, and that was my understanding of it. So I don't know, I could be wrong. Then we got Silverthorn, which I think is the second one or the third one. And then we got A Darkness at Sethanon. I'm pretty sure is this like the third one? Yeah, this is the third one. So I got the trilogy there, or at least the first 3 in that universe. So, and they look good on the shelf. These are nice versions of them. I don't usually care about that sort of stuff, but these are just nice, and they're only a couple of bucks each. I did have a very fancy gold cover, small trade paper, small paperback of Magician, but I never got around to reading it, and I just like these editions better, so I kept them. And then I found this one. This is called The Giant Crab. I'm not having issues. Fucking thing. I said that last time, but it didn't do anything. Got The Giant Crab. This is a nice little hardcover book, and from what I can see, these are old Indian stories for children from long times ago. But this is a 1973 book, but some of these were published or all of them were published in 1897. So that's really cool. So basically Indian fairy tales for kids. Yeah, which is great. Giant Crab. Who's it by? Could be various artists. Stories. Who is this by? Oh, so it's The Giant Crab and Other Tales from Old India, retold by W.H.D. Rouse and illustrated by W. Heath Robinson, Minerva Press. But yeah, it's got some really cool artwork in there. So yeah, really keen to check this out. This could be a nice little chilling read, like a chilled sort of a read in the coming months. And now I got some small paperbacks. We got Legion of the Damned, which is from what I can tell, if you are sick and dying, or you're condemned to life in prison or something, you have the option to become like a part of the Legion, which is like a robot, cyborg, android army for something. So yeah, I don't know, it just seems really cool. And I found this at the same day. Oh, and right next to it rather. And this is called Armor by John Steakley. Who is this by? William C. Dietz. Yay. But this is, yeah, John Steakley. This sounds really cool too. This is like a very hostile planet, and then they're kind of like Spartans from Halo, and they drop down on this planet in this fancy armor to like battle monsters and shit. So I don't know. I got another Banks inversion. I don't know if I have it, but I just found this copy for like $1 or 50 cents or something. So I picked. Fuck! Now I just crushed it. So yeah, I picked it up. I do have a pretty substantial Banks collection, which I can't get access to at the minute, so I need to see what I have and what I don't have. I can't get access to most of my collection, so I don't know if I have some of these or not. Some I remember, some I don't. But I got this David Brin. This is the final book of the new Uplift trilogy, Heaven's Reach. I don't know. I recognize the author. That was the only reason why I picked it up, because I do have quite a lot of Brin. This is cool. This is Le Sprague de Kemp, The Hand of Zai. Book 2 of the Krishna series. This has got an awesome cover. It's like a mammoth on a train. That is cool. It's like part mammoth, part train. So yeah, I don't know what this is, but I just liked the cover. And it looked a bit sort of sciencey. So yeah. Book 2, which kind of sucks, but hey. I know I definitely have this. This is Christine Catherine Ruche, Alien Influences. But again, a lot of these were like $1.50, so I just bought them all. Privateer by Simon Brown. It's got a nice spacey cover. If you want to know what it's about, you can pause the video and potentially read that. But a dazzling debut novel from a bright new talent in the science fiction scene. Oh, that's cool that it's a debut from 1996. Cool. We got The Wind's 12 Quarters by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have some Le Guin now. I'm building up quite the Le Guin collection. So that's got a pretty cool cover with a griffin on there in a kit. Got another Neil Asher, and it's really cool. Really cool paperback, really cool cover. I don't know if this is maybe book 3 in the grid-linked, in the Cormac. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. It might not even be part of the Cormac. But anyway, The Line of Polity. Polity is mentioned in grid-linked. I've got about 100 pages left of grid-linked. I've got like 6 chapters to go of grid-linked. So and the polity is mentioned in that, so I figured it was set in the same universe. But yeah, this is a cool version of it, so hopefully it's the one, it's in that same series, so I'll be reading it soon. Velikovsky, Worlds in Collision. Don't know anything about it, I just picked it up. And it's, yep, and it's in English. I was a little bit concerned it wasn't in English. We got book 2 of the Trigon Dissanity. Wow. Enigma by Michael P. Cube McDowell. Yay. It's got a sciencey cover, so. Then we got W. Michael Gear, The Artifact. The only legacy of the races it had destroyed. The artifact waited to be found again, this time by humans. I have a feeling I picked this up like just recently. Because that sounds, or it's a very familiar and basic story. Very similar story to something else I picked up. I have a feeling I picked that up recently. I got an XCOM novel, UFO Defense. I used to play the game back in the day on the old 386. If you know what a 386 is, or a 486, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and they were really cool games. So I don't know. I don't know if this is like book 1, book 2, whatever. I vaguely remember some of the terms and stuff used and some of the characters in that game. But yeah, it's just another game from my childhood that there happens to be a book about. So that's cool. This is awesome, but it's a shame that it's like book 6. This is Conan of Chimeria, or Cimmeria. It's not Chimeria, it's Cimmeria. I should know this. I've got a few Conan books. I've got also a couple of compilations books with a lot of his stories in there, so I don't know if I have this or not, but I just got it for the cover. I do like my barbarian fantasy. Love it. I got some Mercedes Lackey because I just recognize the name, so I don't know if it's science fiction or fantasy or horror or what, but this one looks a little bit horror-ish. It's got vampires in it and stuff, but it's called Children of the Night. It's got a pretty cool cover. I don't know if they if you know what they write, but yeah. So I got that one. Then we got some fantasy looking one, The Eagle and the Nightingales. Again, I just recognize the author, so the name of the author. I haven't read any of her stuff, his stuff, her stuff. This one is called Storm Rising. Another fantasy, I'm thinking, which is pretty cool. Then we got some Andrea Norton. The Stars Are Out. This has got a great cover. Look at that cover. There's dudes on there. There's creatures. The Stars Are Out. It's an excellent a rip-snorting adventure tale. Andrea Norton. This is Mervyn Peake. This is Titus Groan. I don't know anything about this one. This just had an interesting looking Narnia-esque type looking cover, I guess. I don't know. Let's Enter Another World. Cool. Titus Groan. Awesome. I know I already have this one, but I just picked it up again. The King of Elfland's Daughter by Lord Dunsany. A Storm of Wings, M. John Harrison. Insectoid alien type thingies on here, I assume. Joe Haldeman. I've got a bunch of Joe Haldemans in my collection, but I don't know if I've got this one. This is called Worlds Apart. A novel of future survival. It's got a nice wraparound cover. I might move some of these books. Just talk amongst yourselves while I do this. Next one I got Planet Explorer by Murray Leinster. This has got a great cover on it. They came, they discovered, they fought. Some sort of like alien invasion type thing. Very short. This one's very short. Red Moon and Black Mountain by Joy Chant. This looks very science fantasy, but I'm only going off the cover here because of the big moon on it. But I have one of these unicorn printings of something else. I can't remember what I have. I don't know if it's part of the same series or not. But yeah, I have one of these that has unicorn on it, so that's the only... I recognized it, so I picked it up. It could even be this one. I'm not 100% sure. We got a... this is another one that I recognized the author, so I picked this up. This is Sherry S. Tepper. This has got a really cool fantasy cover on that. So this is called Beauty. I don't know. I just picked it up because I recognized the author, and there was a couple there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the Chronicles of Maven Many Misshaped. Sherry S. Tepper. I have a couple. It's a little bit sun faded. This no, it's not really sun faded. It's just a glare. There we go. But yeah, fantasy. This has got a similar cover, so I'm guessing it's part of the same series. It's called The True Game. Yeah. So I don't know what the go is with those, but they just look cool, and I recognize the author. So Here's another one from Sherry Estepa. This is called Grass. Nice and simple title there. Had to get this because I'm pretty sure I needed it. If I collect anything, you know, it's Star Wars books. So I got a nice hardcover, and I always get the hardcovers even if I already have them. I got Backlash. This is part of the Fate of the Jedi series. I have no idea where it sits in the series, but there's quite a few of these, and I have a few of these, but I just the timeline is so construed and so messed up because you've got the original book timeline, and then you've got the new Disney timeline, which is its own timeline, but I still consider that a alternate universe timeline, and consider the original book timeline the real timeline. But yeah, there's so many books in the series, and I love Star Wars books, man. They've expanded this universe so much and so awesome. I can't praise Star Wars books enough. Yeah, that was from all the that was from the 3 or 4 op shops that I purposely went to on my way home to see my folks. But then this next stack is from the eBay purchase that I was only able to purchase because I was driving home to see my parents, because it was a pickup. I hope that came across the right way. I wasn't sure if I said it correctly or made that understandable before. Yeah, so I paid $50 for this entire lot, and it turned out to be about $1.60 per book. All sci-fi, with the maybe a couple of fantasy in there, I can't remember. But I thought it was a good deal. Some of them are in pretty rough condition, but certainly perfect for me to read and just put on the shelf. Not a problem, especially at $1.60. So here we got Cretaceous C by Will Hubble. A novel of time travel. Anything with dinosaurs on it, set in a sci-fi sort of style, is a win for me. So we got Cretaceous C, Will Hubble. We've got Federation World by James White. It's got a cool cover. I don't know what most of these are about, so I just picked them up because they were cheap. Rob Swiggett, Portal. Looks a bit sort of post-apocalyptic-ish, with a little spaceman there. Classic science fiction featuring Stephen King, Clive Barker, Ray Bradbury, Philip K. Dick, James Blish, and Arthur C. Clarke. I don't know what's in that. What has it got in this? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So this one is basically short stories from, I believe these are the artists, these authors that got turned into feature films. So you got Robert A. Heinlein, Destination Moon. That's the name of the movie. But that, I think the book was called, or the story was called, Rocket Ship Galileo. So they give the titles, so it might even be yeah, so they give it the title of the movie, but then they also give a little bit of information about the short story itself, like that, and then has like some movie information as well. So that just seemed really interesting. I'm definitely going to have a flick through that. Got a Damien Broderick, which is awesome because this guy is an Aussie guy, and I don't have many of his stuff, and I heard he's really good. By Outlaw Bookseller, recommended him, and I trust him. So I got The Dark Between the Stars. I've got 4 of his books now, so that's cool. That's cool. I really should take some time to read his stuff. This one is from Sean Dalton. It's called Time Trap Showdown. This is book 2. Second in the new time travel action series. Shame that it's book 2, but it's alright. This is cool. I've had this one before, but it was in really poor condition. So I put it in my booth, and it sold. It only sold for $4. But I'm going to keep this one. This is Return of the Swamp Thing because it's in really good condition. And the movies are great. Both these movies, The Swamp Thing and Return of the Swamp Thing, they're terrible, but they're so good. But yeah. Swamp Thing. This is the Marvel version of Swamp Thing too, before DC got the rights to it. I don't know, it's DC. Just forget I said anything. I know Marvel had a Swamp Thing at one point, perhaps. I could be mistaken. We got a Blake... Oh, I just saw something. We got a Blake 7, Afterlife. Cool. This is the authentic sequel to the great TV series. I've only seen a couple episodes of Blake 7. I really don't know anything about it. There was like 2 seasons, I'm pretty sure, if I'm thinking of the right show. And I used to own them on DVD, but yeah, I don't have them anymore. I got another Time Trap. This is Sean Dalton again. I think this is this going to be the first one? It's called, oh, it's just called Time Trap. So we got Time Trap and then Time Trap Showdown. So, I wonder... Yeah, cool. So that is book 1 and 2. That's cool. I'm glad that I've got those. I don't know if I've got any more, but... then we got Jack Womack. What the fuck? Elvese? Is it? Is that right? Elvese? What is this? Is on a mission from the future. Our future. What the fuck? New York, 2033. A rebellious populace flocks to join the C of E, Church of Elvis. The Alvi have already formed schismatic groups. Among them, the hosts of Memphis and the Shaken rattled and rolled. Global corporation Dryco send their operative Is back to 1954 to bring Elvis home to his adoring millions. But the America she finds is strangely altered, and so too is the king. At the Presley home, Elvis, who's 19, acneed, never recorded, stands over the blood-spattered body of his ma. What? That sounds awesome. That sounds great. Yeah, Elvis, Elvisi. If you've read that, let me know, because that could be one I read very soon. That's great. Barry B. Longyear, Manifest a Destiny. This is a book of short stories, and there's one in here called... I don't know if it's a book of short stories, or it's a novel set in like short story form or something like that. But there's something in here called Enemy Mine, and I don't know if that's got anything to do with the 80s film. But yeah, it may not be a short stories. It might just give off the illusion of being a book of short stories with the way that the chapters and shit are titled. So yeah, I don't know. Manifest Destiny. Never heard of it. Never heard of the author either. Greg Bear, Cyclone, with a face in a cyclone. I've got some Greg Bear. This is clearly a horror book, but it can go in my Greg Bear collection because I've got quite a few Greg Bear stuff. I know I definitely have this because the cover looks familiar, very, very familiar. But yeah, I've never read it. This is Destinies, paperback magazine of science fiction and speculative fact. So it's just a book of short stories, but I think taken out of a magazine and just put into book form, or it's a book magazine or something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that already. And we got another Greg Bear called The Forge of God, rather. Greg Bear, The Forge of God. We've got another David Brin here called Sundiver. Is it Sundiver? Yep, Sundiver. I'm missing a bit of the corner here. Very well read, but still totally readable. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just been sitting in some guy's house for years and years and years. Then we got book 2. Oh, I've already showed this one, or did I pick this up? Again, talk amongst yourselves. Oh yeah. So I have another copy of Enigma by Michael P. Q. McDowell. So I have 2 copies of that. And I don't even want 1 copy yet because it's book 2. But they have different spines. Maybe that's sun faded? No, that's not. Anyway, cool. We got Robert Heinlein. Methuselah's Children. I know of Heinlein. I just need to read some of his stuff because I've never read any of his stuff, and I want to read Starship Troopers. So I'm looking for a copy of Starship Troopers. I have the audiobook of Starship Troopers, but I don't know if I want to listen to it. I'm not sure. But yeah, Robert Heinlein. We got some Time Police, which I did have these before, but I got rid of them. I actually took them to my booth. And I might keep them this time, because these ones are a bit ratty anyway, so I can't really sell these ones. So we got Time Police Book 1 by Warren Norwood. I like the concept of Time Police. I actually really enjoyed Time Cop because I was alive. Like, of course I was, but I was, like, when it came out, I was the right time to enjoy all the shitty, I was the right age to enjoy all the shitty Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that came out. So, and put him in a sci-fi and you've got me hooked, because I was a sci-fi film, like, kid when growing up, and he was my favorite 90s and early action star. So we got Trapped Volume 2. I think I've had 2 and 3 before. I haven't had book 1, and this is Stranded. So I don't know how many there are in the series, but at least I've got the 3 there. Give him a read one day. We got Time Future by Maxine MacArthur, winner of the George Turner Prize. It's got a great cover. I like that cover. Big smashed up spaceship. We got Robert Silverberg, Son of Man. I've got a lot of Silverberg. I don't know what I have, but I have a lot of Silverberg. I've got another Heinlein here. This is Waldo plus Magic Inc. That's got a great cover. What a cover. Cool. Don't know what that is. Got a Frank Herbert. I'm not sure if it's if I've got this one. I know I mentioned earlier that I thought I had all of his standalone books, but yeah, it turns out he's got a lot, so I really don't know. But I got this one, The Eyes of Heisenberg. This one is really dirty, so, but that's alright. Still 100% readable. I got a Simic, Our Children's Children. I didn't realize how many books he actually has, and books of short stories and stuff that he actually has. This one is a complete novel by the looks. Yeah. So that's great. I'm trying to go as much Simic as I possibly can, because so far he's my favorite. We got Far Horizons, edited by Robert Silverberg. So enter the most amazing world. His books are dusty, man. It seems to be a book of short stories with those guys in it. So those guys and gals and everybody else. Gregory Benford, Tides of Light, hardcover. This is a Gollancz. Don't know anything about it. I only know it's a Gollancz because it says so on the side there. It's not a Yellow Jacket though. I've only got one of those. 89. It's from. Cool. Tides of Light. Then we got the best new sci-fi. This is just a compilation. I'll probably just donate that to the op shop. It's in pretty ratty condition. I can't sell it. I'm not interested in reading it. Maybe. I don't know. We'll go through it, but we shall see. We got The First 3 Minutes, A Modern View of the Origin of the Universe by Steven Weinberg. I don't know if this is a work of fiction or non-fiction or what. I think it's actually... No, it's non-fiction. So, cool. The first 3. And then we got New World 4, Britain's most celebrated science fiction anthology, edited by David Garnett, with an afterword by Michael Moorcock. I don't know what this is. New World 4. Okay, so it's a book of short stories. by quite a lot of different authors, whether they're excerpts or whatever from novels, I don't know, but yeah. And then lastly, this is Theodore Sturgeon. He introduces new science fiction from Russia. So the author is Vadim Shefner, and it's the Unman Kovrigens Chronicles. Kovrigens Chronicles. What the fudge? But yeah, it's Russian, translated into English, introduced by Sturgeon. So fantastic. Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if there's any of these that you read that I should be reading first, or let me know anything else that I should be reading. But yeah, this is definitely going to have to be, I know I say this all the time, but has to be the last lot that I get. I still have boxes and boxes and bags of stuff that I need to show off to you guys, because I bought an entire collection off a gentleman that had passed away, so I bought them off his family. So I have tons and tons and tons of books to show, and a lot of hardcover first editions signed by their authors. So some really cool stuff that I want to show, and then potentially get some info from you guys from. But yeah, until the next one, guys, stay happy, stay safe, enjoy your reading, whatever that may be. Film some videos, tag me in these videos, you know the drill. But until the next one, take care.